this human being who's about to come up on stage, okay, his name's Craig Goldenfarb, doesn't run as big a firm as Daryl Isaacs, but he has the science of running a law firm down to a pat. I mean, I learned about Craig Goldenfarb through my first employee, who was James Helm, owner of Top Dog Law now. He was my salesperson. He met this guy, Craig Goldenfarb. Craig Goldenfarb literally didn't know who he was and invited him to his office, opened up his hood on his entire practice, showed him how he runs cases from start to finish, and just such a generous guy. And when you literally think of what is a well-run law firm, it's Craig Goldenfarb's firm. So listen extremely closely to the wisdom that Craig's going to be giving you guys.
With that being said, I had a chance to talk to this gentleman outside, a wonderful human being. Show a whole lot of love right now for Craig Goldenfarb, everybody. Get all you set to go. Just yell into that bad boy.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm just glad to see that Bill Hauser's a real person. You know, over COVID, I never really knew if he was just an avatar online or if he was a real person. First time I actually got to see him, so good to know he exists. So I'm having my weekly lunch with an employee. Tip number 1, weekly lunch with an employee on a Friday. And her name's Diana Ramirez, and Diana had been with me several years. And I'm having my weekly lunch with Diana, and I find out that I knew she was Colombian, from Colombia, and that her family was fans of the Colombian national soccer team, and that she's in love with their star, whose name is James, that's how you say James, Hernandez, who's the star of the Colombian national soccer team, and she has a crush on him. And her son, Carlos, also, that's his favorite player on the Colombian national soccer team. And also that Carlos is looking for something to do with Dad, and they're looking for a new hobby. So I only can find this out because I have a weekly lunch with my employee. So after the lunch, it's a very nice lunch, I come up with model rockets, because that's what I used to do with my dad. So I go to the store and I buy an $11 model rocket. And I go to soccer.com and I buy the shirt for James Hernandez, the star of the Colombian national soccer team. And I come back to work Monday and I go into Diana's office and I say, we really enjoyed lunch. I really enjoyed lunch. And for your son here, I have a model rocket, and I told her the story about me and my dad. And then for you, I have this James Hernandez national team jersey from the Colombian national soccer team. Now, I don't tell you that because I'm this special guy. I tell you this because what do you think the effect is it had on Diana? Diana is a star paralegal at my law firm. Do you think she gets calls from headhunters?
Yes.
Absolutely. Do you think that her sister, who works at another law firm, is sometimes saying, why don't you come to work for me? Or with me? Yes. Do you think that that lunch that I had, giving her a model rocket for her son, and giving her the Colombian national jersey, do you think that that ensured that she's going to stay at my law firm another 10 years? Yes, it did. That's a little pointer, a little something that I do, is going to lunch once a week with my employees. I have 70 employees. So it takes me over a year to cycle through all my employees for lunch. It takes a while, but that bonding that I do with my employees once a week makes it so that my entire leadership team has been there over 10 years. You heard Daryl just now say about his team has been there 25 years, some of them. Mine too. And the reason that it's been there so long is because of little things like that that I do for my employees. So these are 60 paid actors. I actually have 2 employees. This is a Christmas ago or so, Christmas party with a lot of my folks. You can see I paid them to smile. And everybody's pretty happy here, and it was a good Christmas party. But this shows, this is just a good way of showing a good Christmas party with a lot of happy people. And that is really the key to my growth, is my people. Now, I give a lot of speeches around the country on different aspects of my law firm, but this is really my favorite one, because this is exactly what Daryl was just talking about. This is that your people make everything. Your people are spending more time making you money than they are with their families. They're making you money. So why not honor them in ways that you can think of to make sure that they keep doing what they're doing? They're spending 40, 50 hours a week making you money, and you're not doing special things for them. You go home at night to your own families, and what do you spend, 2 hours a night? 3 hours a night? Multiply that by 5 nights? That's 15 hours during the work week? Yet they're spending 40, 50 hours making you money. Isn't that something you should honor? So I've been doing this gig for 27 years. I do car accidents, slip and falls, nursing home neglect, negligent security, and then I've niched down to liability for heart attacks in public places. If y'all have a heart attack right now and there's no defibrillator here, I get the case. Good to know, right? So don't have a heart attack. But it's a little niche I've done across the country. I opened my firm about 20 years ago, yes, with one employee, Debbie. Debbie retired last year after being with me 20 years. Now I'm at 70. We grow about 20% per year, and that is a typo. It's been about 19 years. And now I've got 11 lawyers and 70 staff, and it's just steady growth. I don't do anything crazy like Bill, 1x, 2x, 5x, 10x. I'm 20% per year. I'm that turtle who just slowly grows, or slowly runs the race, but finishes the race. So I don't do anything nuts. Our internal firm motto is boring and profitable. Boring and profitable. I am not crazy Bill Hauser. I'm not doing this 5X stuff. I am boring and profitable. We do not have drama in our office. We have great people, and that is only an internal firm motto, but that is our firm motto. I also, in conjunction with that area of law that I do, liability for heart attacks in public places, I found that as I was taking depositions 15 years ago, when I used to take depositions, that business owners wouldn't get a defibrillator because they couldn't afford it. So I decided to start a charity that gives away free defibrillators to youth sports programs to save lives. So we've given away about 50 defibrillators to youth sports clubs, and we found out that we have saved the lives of several umpires and referees who dropped. So I'm going to go through what I consider to be 5 secrets to keeping great employees and creating a work culture. Number 1 is have a work culture. Do you have a work culture at all? Do you have a mission statement? Do you have core values? Next is become a leader. You know, we went to law school, we weren't really taught to be leaders because we were the smartest kid in our class always, right? We were the kid raising our hand, we were the nerd or whatever. We were not taught people skills. We were told at age 5 how gifted we were. And that leads to not being a leader. That leads to you thinking you're special. But we're not special because we have to empower, we have to sell. We have to empower our staff. So once you realize that your brain is not the key to your success, you will realize that your people skills and your leadership skills are the key to your success, not your brain. My mom went to Harvard Law. My mom was the first female teaching professor at Harvard Law. She was a criminal defense attorney in Florida. She never made more than 100 grand. She was a bitch. She was mean. She had a horrible attitude. She was judgmental. She was arrogant because she went to Harvard Law. I grew up watching that. I watched her at age 12 in the front of the Florida Supreme Court argue an appellate case. And this was before, show them the hand. My mom said to a Florida Supreme Court justice during an appellate argument, "That was a dumb question." I saw that, I was 12 years old. I knew something was wrong. She lost the appeal. But her brains did not carry her. Her brains did not make her a success. I got lucky that I inherited like 12% of her brains, but I did everything that she didn't, which is I worked on myself as a person and as a leader, and that's why I'm a success, not because of the brains. So become a leader, create leaders. Give your employees what they want and ask them what they want. Compensate them generously and keep them engaged and fulfilled. Those are 5 secrets to me. So number 1 is define your firm's culture. Has anybody here read Traction book, EOS? Got about half the room. Good. Great book for talking about creating a mission statement and core values. You go into the bank, like Wells Fargo, you see the mission statement on there. You go to the grocery store, you might see the mission statement on there. Why do law firms not have mission statements? Why did doctors' offices not have mission statements? Because we're dumb, or because we don't realize we have a business. So get a mission statement. That's like 2 mission statements ago. We've now changed it. But two mission statements ago, that was our mission statement, with 3 parts of it. To recover emotionally, physically, and financially was our mission statement. And then our core values that we all decided on as a team. I did not decide this mission statement. I did not create these core values. We met as a firm and called out possible core values after we all read Traction. As a company, because we want buy-in, We designed the mission statement as a company. We designed the core values that represent all of us, not just me. So does your firm have a culture? And if it does have a mission statement and core values, what do you do with it? We have that printed out. We give it to our clients. We give it to our new employees. We have this on the wall in our interview room so that when we interview prospective employees, we say, what do you think about this? And if they go, they don't care about a mission statement, they don't care about core values, they're not going to work at my firm because we want their buy-in. Publish this mission statement. Put it in their client information kit you give them at the beginning. Put it on your website. Use it in your interview room. Have a firm culture. Have it defined and have everybody follow these rules. And when we fire somebody, if we do, fairly rare, it's usually a violation of one of these rules, one of these core values, that someone showed a lack of integrity, a lack of stability, lots of times a lack of stability, a lack of trust. So run your firm based on this stuff. Number 2, become a leader and create leaders. As I said, we are not taught how to be a leader. The only way I could think of is go to seminars and read books. That's the way I learn things, right? You're here at a seminar. Read books. There's lots of books on leadership. There's lots of books on trust and delegation. The book I like best on trust and delegation leadership is called The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. If you want to learn how to bond with your leaders, bond with your employees, and create trust within your organization, if you have trust issues right now, where you're afraid to confront some of your team leaders, some of your employees, best book I've ever read on leadership and trust among your company, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. CEO. So I am the CEO of my law firm. I do not call it the chief executive officer. I'm the chief encouragement officer at my law firm. Why is that? Because I walk around and I manage by laps. I don't manage by supervision. I don't manage by observation. I do manage by laps, which is I walk around my fairly big office and I talk to people because I have time to talk to people, because I make time to talk to people. I want to chat with them a little bit and talk to them because I do have lunch on Fridays with them, but I go around and encourage people. If you compliment people as part of every time you talk to them, they're going to be empowered. If their love language, the book Love Languages, if you've read it, great book, Love Languages in the Workplace. If their love language is positive affirmation, which is they like to be complimented, then when you give them that little morsel of good job, it empowers them for a month. When's the last time you went to your star employee and said, you really did a good job on blank? Thank you for doing that. You did great. When is the last time you did that? I do it like 10 times a day. A day is you just give positive affirmation or compliment. It's been lost in today's business world. It's merely giving someone a little bit of encouragement. That's your job as the chief encouragement officer. I create leaders. You know, the picture there is if the boss is there telling everybody to pull, then they just do what you're telling them. But if you create leaders, then the leaders will tell everybody to pull. And then you can be at a seminar. You can be away and everything goes fine. So create leaders because the leaders are who are going to push your company forward, not necessarily you. You're just the visionary. You give them authority, responsibility, autonomy, privilege, and trust. These are things straight out of the book, 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, that you need to create leaders by giving them these things. And if you've been at Bill's webinars, I have spoken a couple of times on delegation, specifically on how you delegate, what blocks you from delegating, what blocks you from trust. That is the key to growth, is being able to delegate and trust. Delegate and trust, 2 really important concepts that they certainly did not teach us in law school. And the reason you don't delegate is why? Only I can do it best. I have my hero cape on because only I can do it best. And then when it goes wrong, you take it back. And you say, I knew it, only I could do it best. That's going the wrong way. When it goes wrong, that person now learns. So let it go wrong. It's like in parenting, you say, let your kids fail, because the only way they're going to learn is by failing. Let your employees fail. I used to look at every closing statement in the office. I'm a personal injury attorney. I had to sign every closing statement. You know how much of my time that took up? And it's because I knew that only I could catch the detail of mistakes. But that was enabling my entire staff to make mistakes, because they knew Craig would catch it. If you take yourself out of the role of supervising and catching all the mistakes, They look at it more carefully, and they learn. And if they make a mistake, it's got such an effect on them that they screwed up that they'll probably not make that mistake again. And now you just created a leader and created a better quality employee because you took yourself out of the process. Now, that's scary. It was hard for me to give up closing statements. But once it got to a couple hundred, you got to take yourself out of a process because it overwhelms you. Number 3, give them what they want. You just heard Daryl up here say of all the benefits he was giving to his staff, right? And that's why he's got his staff stay so long. He's right. He's 100% right, which is that if you overpay them just a little bit, if you give them a bonus or an incentive that is matched to their production, and if you make them happy financially and in all other areas of their financial world, they're going to stay. So I say give them what they want, not everything they want. I don't try not to overpay big time, but I do pay them well. Let them have input and empowerment. They want to participate in creating your processes. Who has tried to do job descriptions at their law firm? 3 people, not many. So if you're doing job descriptions at your law firm, do you write them or do you let them write them? Who knows what they do all day? You or them? Let them write their own job descriptions, and then you can edit it if it's missing a thing or two. It saves you work, and then they've got input and empowerment. If you're coming up with a procedure, do you write it or do you let them write it? Let them write it. Saves you time, and then you can edit it. Again, input and empowerment. These are just little simple things that if you spend all your time doing it, you're getting it wrong. Stable work environment. Who throws staplers at their employees? I've been in several offices where you got a lawyer who's a jerk, and he throws stuff or slams files down. What do you think that does to the psyche of your employees who are a little, nervous, have an anxiety disorder? You think that goes over well when there's loud noises in the office, someone slamming a file down? It's horrible. Have a stable work environment. People come to work to be safe. Their families are probably hectic, perhaps. Shit's going on at home with COVID or with their families. They want a stable work environment. Provide that environment. Structure, organization, and clarity. Bill gave me a nice compliment that I run a well-oiled machine as a law firm. That's this, the structure, organization, and clarity. I am so clear at what I expect from my employees and how they get rewarded and incentivized that it's really kind of crazy how they know exactly what their flagpoles are that they have to meet. Everything that they have to do as far as goals is very clear. If you have that structure and organization, your employees will feel safe. Give them recognition. We recognize employees. We have Employee of the Month. We have Employee of the Quarter. We have Employee of the Year. We put our employee spotlight in our newsletter. We put them in our e-newsletter. We focus on our employees. We want to magnify what they do and put them on a pedestal for all the reasons I talked about before. If you're not doing any of these things, no employee recognition, you're really missing out on an opportunity to grow your firm and have loyal employees. As I said, I have 70 people. You know how many people turnover we had? Practically 0 during COVID. Nobody leaves because of all this stuff. And that directly leads to profitability because turnover costs a fortune. I'm sure you all know that. Opportunity for growth. Do you guys, when you have a job opening, do you post within your law firm first? Or do you go strictly right to Indeed or Monster? Post within your law firm first. You don't know if your receptionist wants to be a legal assistant. You have no idea because she hasn't told you or he hasn't told you. If you post internally first, you're allowing for internal growth. You may lose that receptionist to a promotion, but now she's indebted to you because you promoted her or him, and now you have internal growth. Do not post externally before you post internally. External. I think someone asked Daryl or someone earlier about personal growth. So we pay half for any of our employees to do several different courses, whether it's Tony Robbins, landmark education, personal growth courses, all types of stuff. They come to us and they ask for a scholarship. Will you pay half? Some of these courses are expensive, but we want to see them grow personally, and we want to invest in them. One that we've all done is called landmark education that I'm a big fan of. It's like $800, $700. We pay for half. So they go and they develop personally, come back, and something changed in their life due to the seminar they went to, and they owe half of it to us, and they know we're investing in them personally. Do you guys do anything like that? Do you pay for personal growth courses? Do you tell them, hey, come up with a personal growth course. If it's approved by our HR department, we'll pay for half of it? And if you do that, what effect does that have on your staff? That again, you're investing in them personally. It may not help your business, they think, but it does because they become better personally. The fourth tenet here is compensate your employees. We talk strictly about money. This pie graph represents everything I pay an employee. This is not like the answer, my percentages. It's just a guide. Their salary or their hourly pay is about 70% of what they earn at my law firm. Benefits such as health insurance, long-term, short-term disability, life insurance, we have pet insurance, all kinds of silly little stuff that really helps. Benefits is about 20%. We pay 80% of their health insurance. Some firms pay 100. Bonuses, incentives come out to about 10% of what they earn. So I'm going to talk about incentives for a second because it's so crucial. It's so crucial to match your incentives to production goals. That is the key to growth, is matching your incentives, that's why I put an arrow to it, to their production goals. So this is an example for me. How much time I got, Bill?
You have 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, great. So this is part of my system, incentives for non-attorney staff. Who here has incentives for non-attorney staff? Just curious. Okay, a few. This is how I drive my entire profit base. 8 figures in revenue a year. Multiple 8 figures in revenue a year. Why? Because I'm incentivizing the right stuff. I'm putting money behind my metrics. Money behind your metrics. Intake department, for instance, we have one metric. Cases signed up versus the cases that we wanted that we lost. We have a goal of a certain number of cases per month signed up. If y'all are personal injury attorneys, it's a basic metric, right? How many cases did we sign up? Minus the cases we lost. Pre-suit, we have 3 metrics. That's it for pre-suit. You could measure 100 things, which we do, but what you put money behind is very important. So we want demands out the door, the number of claims settled, and the percentage of tenders. Now, I want to focus on that one because I do have time and it's so important. A tender is the payment of policy limits. Everybody, personal injury attorneys, tender, everybody use the same term, I hope. So that's when the insurance company pays the $10,000 or the $25,000, the policy limits. How do you get them to pay the policy limits? Well, you medically manage the case so that if the person needs injections or surgery, you help them come to that realization if the doctor suggests it, that maybe it's necessary. And there's about 10 reasons why a client won't get injections or surgery. We've all heard them, right? Grandma died on the operating table, or my friend had that and it didn't work, or it's just adding to my bills, or nobody will take care of my kids, or I can't take the time off from work, right? That's about 5 of them. Why won't your clients get injections or surgery? So if you manage that process and manage their expectations and actually bring them in, that's called medical management. If you medically manage toward the policy limits, and you know that 1 epidural will result in Allstate kicking over the 10, or 2 epidurals will result in State Farm kicking over at 25 and tendering, then you can medically manage and bring the person in and talk to them about that. That your doctor said you need 2 epidurals. What's your quality of life like right now? Are you sleeping well? Well, this will help your pain if you do this, and then you can get through all those objections as to why they won't get injections and surgery. So we incentivize our staff having those conversations with the clients and achieving a tender of policy limits. Here's the 5th one, and this is the fun one, what I call kind of just the fun. Because my law office people stay there. Why? Not because they're making a lot of money. That motivates half of people, right? Half of people are driven, number 1, by money. Maybe it's number 2 for some people, but there are other things that motivate them. A lot of human beings are motivated by being engaged and fulfilled. Maybe you are motivated more by being engaged and fulfilled than money. I don't know. I'm motivated by both. I love being engaged and fulfilled. That's why I come here. I'm not earning money today. I'm being engaged and fulfilled because I get to talk to you guys. I get to teach. I get to share. That's engaged and fulfilled for my life. How do you keep your employees engaged and fulfilled? One is connecting with the community, providing volunteer charity opportunities, support each other's passions, support their triumphs. You know, we got pregnancies, we got babies, we got marriages, we got all kinds of good stuff that goes on. Support their tragedies, support their triumphs. And don't forget to have fun. So these come up all at once. Damn it, they're going too quick. You missed Gerald. Gotta show you, Gerald. Come on, man. Damn technology. Bill, this is all your fault. So the third one, next one. That's it, Gerald in the middle. You got him. Got him. That's the guy who runs the drag show. Awesome. So the last one, of course, is May the 4th be with you. You know, Star Wars Day. Everybody dresses up. You know, the sillier the better, guys. We work in a boring profession. Boring as hell. Your staff are bored. You might be bored. If you do something in the middle of the day where you just have your office manager walk around with a cart of cookies, or something silly, or you do something for Star Wars Day and everybody meets in the conference room, it breaks up a boring day. We probably do this twice a week. Yes, twice a week we do something silly just to break up the day. Our HR administrator is from Disney World. I hired her from Disney World. What better training is there for HR than Disney World? She comes in and she comes up with all these cool things we do twice a week just to break up the boredom. Whether it's wheeling around with yogurt or doing something silly or Star Wars Day, we do something twice a week.
I'm attorney Craig Goldenfarb, and I'm a serious lawyer, seriously. When my staff said they wanted to dress me up for Red Nose Day, I said, no way. I'm a busy lawyer, and I don't have time for this. But when I heard about Red Nose Day and the seriousness of childhood poverty, I thought, well, that's a serious problem, and I'm a very serious guy. So here I am, fundraising for Red Nose Day in a clown suit.
That is too funny.
Seriously, could you...
So that was actually before social media became popular. That's a good 5-6 years ago, maybe even more. So I ran that on television. That wasn't just a YouTube video. That actually went to millions and millions of people. And you know how many cases I got because I'm a clown? That differentiated myself from everybody in the market just because I was human, just because I was funny, and it was Red Nose Day. And I do a lot of commercials like that. I also do this stuff on social media. But if you happen to do TV and you put crazy stuff like that on TV, I'm not like the aggressive hammer guy or whatever. I'm not that guy. It's not my personality, right? I'm not an aggressive guy. You know, I'm a softie. So I come across like a softie or a nice, trustworthy guy. That's my persona. Some people respond to that. Some people respond to an aggressive attorney. That's just not me. So if I come across as human, and I actually do it on TV in front of millions of people, I mean, that commercial alone, the number of impressions we got once we put it on social media, 5 years later, was crazy. We just revamp it every time it's Red Nose Day, which it still is. So, you know, that's an example of have fun. So everything I did today is to create a work culture to make people actually want to come to work. And let me say one thing the second time. They're spending 40 to 50 hours a week making you money. If there's one thing you leave with from this speech, they are spending 40 to 50 hours a week making you money. Treat them well.